Hey friends, this is Trinity on the Go. This is a brief reflection for those of you believers that take your faith seriously but have full and busy lives on the go. We celebrate the second Sunday of Easter, also known as Divine Mercy Sunday. The first reading comes from the Acts of the Apostles, from chapter 2, verse 42 to 47. The central theme that we find is the togetherness of the first Christians. Luke writes in this passage, they devoted themselves to the communal life. All who believed were together, and every day they devoted themselves to meeting together. Togetherness and the commitment to togetherness is one mark of the first Christians. Luke calls this togetherness koinonia. Jesus tells us that God is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Catholics call this God the Trinity. And if this is true, then I can claim that God is koinonia. That is, God is a communion of persons. God is Trinity. We know from our faith that humans are created in the image of God. If God is a communion of persons, then that image is to be lived out as a human communion of persons. Humans are not created in isolation or as absolute individuals, but as a communion of persons. And if this is true, I can make another claim. Humans are Trinitarian, which leads me to make yet another claim. Salvation is Trinitarian. It means that God's love flows to us and through us as a communion of persons. It means that God's life passes to us and through us as a communion of persons. But this then begs the question, what is koinonia? What is real communion? Pope Francis said that today there's a lot of community, but not a lot of communion. Today, we humans feel this need for communion, so we seek out and we try to create communities. But many times in these communities, we have a group of people, but not a communion of persons. Communion, or koinonia, is a deep sharing, a giving and receiving, a mutuality among persons that then reflects the divine sharing, giving and receiving, and mutuality that exists among the divine persons, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We can reflect. How do we live out that communion that is necessary for our humanity and our Christian faith? In these days of pandemic, how do we find, live, and nurture a communion of persons? Is it at home? Is it online? Where? Togetherness was the mark of the first Christians. How does togetherness mark our own Christian lives? God bless. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.